Once you let me know we're live, I'll go and tweet it out and then paste some sound. Then we can start. Going.
We're live right now. I'm simultaneously working on the thumbnail and then the title as well. So, Walt, go ahead and do your thing, man.
Hey yo,
buy us some time.
The good old days, not the just horrible 2010s for some reason. It was a transition. Just dog shit. Right now, MTV is just ridiculousness 24/7. Like, what happened? What happened? Used to be like actual music videos.
Man, I love how your mind works. Like, how I don't know how on earth you went to MTV, but you did.
Hey man, you tell me to dance, I'ma dance. I'ma bring the randomness, because a lot of trivia in the world.
Oh man,
gotta get ready for that. You know, I mean, it's been a week since it was announced, but I mean, I'm still excited to play. I've never played a Persona 4 the arena game. I've never played that game, so.
When is that coming out?
When's that coming out? I feel like, is it early next year? Let me check.
I want to say March.
I think so. Arena. Ultimax, right? Yeah. Ultimax. PS4. March 17th. Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Which, granted, says PS4, so it is the PS4 version, I assume then. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this is Atlas we're talking about. They didn't make a PS5 version.
Yeah. Nah. that was only the Persona 5 Royal treatment, just because it was like, well, and not even PS4 version, it was just a more enhanced Persona, so it looked better. That's something that's really, it's surprising. You play Persona 5 and then you play for Royal, and it's like you don't want to go back to 5 for the fidelity, because Royal just looks that much better. But Royal is so much easier than 5. Did you feel that?
I honestly don't remember. I didn't finish. I think I only made it to like the second palace, I think, in Royal.
Dude,
we are good on all fronts, by the way.
Okay, cool. Awesome. No, Royal has Royal doesn't have the twins or like that trophy. You don't have to do that. I guess that for a trophy hunter in the first Persona, you have to do the twins and the Reaper. But in Royal you can't. You don't have that trophy. Anyways. But yes, we're good. We good there? We good? We sound.
We are live.
Okay. Cool. All right, where the hell's my phone? Because I'm gonna need it today. All right, guys, welcome back to the final episode of the DualShock and Sense podcast. I got some pep in my step this week, man, because that means I don't gotta hear you idiots next week, man. I'm happy about that. Let's go. I'm kidding.
Someone had their coffee this morning.
I'm kidding, man. No, to be honest, I have the same energy I do right now as I do every week.
Which means he'd rather be watching Witcher. I get it, right? I get it.
Yeah, and something else on YouTube, am I right, Macho?
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, yo, what does that mean?
I caught the watch history.
What am I watching?
This man's shaking his boots.
Do you really want me to bring it up?
Hey, do
you want me to bring it up?
Do it.
Okay, all right. So tell me why. I log into DualShock and Sense Podcast this morning, and I see my recommended feed, Soul. Sexy mods for Jill in Resident Evil 3.
Oh, hell
What's going on?
That's not me.
Huh?
That's not me.
Yeah?
That's not me. I
already talked to Walt about this, and he said he didn't do it.
I swear to the Jehovah's Witnesses, man. I have nothing to do with that. I don't know what that's about, man.
My man, you have a record in this podcast saying how you fancy Jill Valentine.
The connoisseur.
This is true.
Waifu, sir?
This is true. But I mean, come on, y'all think I would do that on the professional website? I would do that on my own time, man. Come on,
listen,
now.
Man. Listen, I just know you go to bed late. Sometimes things happen. I get it. I get it, but make sure you're logged out first, right?
Oh man, I was busy watching Spider-Man last night, man. It's not what you think, man.
Yeah.
It's not what you think. Oh man.
Wow.
All right, man.
Funny.
I don't even want to intro you guys, man. I don't even want to do it. Well, go ahead, man. Introduce yourself.
What's up, y'all? The Manga Maniac, ready to talk video games and bring the smoke to the Soulster. Now, man, ready to talk so a little bit of video games. Not much going on this week. Not too heavy topics. Not like the last 2 weeks prior to this one. I got to watch Spider-Man this Thursday, and I can't wait for y'all to watch it if y'all haven't watched it and talk about it that in the future. We definitely have to have that one episode where we talk about the Spider-Man movies at some point because I know
think so, yeah.
we've had already a little bit of history talking about Spider-Man and some controversial takes in this podcast. So I can't wait to get into that.
Not too controversial.
Yeah. Whatever you said, buddy. But yeah, man, excited to see what we get to talk about today, and hope y'all are doing good today.
Yes, sir. And Macho, what about you, man? How you doing?
Yeah, what's up? I'm doing good, man. What's up, everybody? It's a King of Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy fanatic. I'm excited. This is, again, the last episode you said for the year, before we're going Christmas break and all that jazz. But, man, did anybody catch the trailer for the new Bleach Blood War arc, I think it's called?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. I'm
Yes,
excited.
sir.
I'm
Dude.
excited. I know it's a gaming podcast, but I just had to bring it because I got so hyped, man. I got so
No,
hyped.
dude, as the Manga Maniac, I allow it.
Yeah. But yeah, man, other than that, it's been good. It's been good. I've been watching all the Spider-Man movies actually this week, and I'm excited to go see the new one today. So, yeah,
sir.
but doing good, man.
Nice. So yeah, we may be a little light on topics, and this might also be a shorter podcast than usual, but we'll make it work. I mean, I guess quickly we don't we don't have to spend 45 minutes talking about the games we played. But yeah, we can run through that pretty quickly. Games that we played this past week. For me, finally finished Guardians of the Galaxy. Really enjoyed it, man. I was not expecting to enjoy that game as much as I did. It made me like characters that I previously did not like, in their previous iterations in the MCU. I really enjoyed like this version of these characters here. Yeah, like the thing that really struck me is that they were able to, which is sort of like my big problem with like every MCU movie that I've watched, is this issue of like having a serious moment and then trying to like alleviate it immediately with comedy. And with this game, like I noticed that like yeah, there was like some really like serious like heartbreaking moments, and like the when they would try to follow it up like immediately with comedy, it wasn't like a joke or something like that, but it was always like comedy that felt like true to the characters, and it wasn't like at the expense of like the other person. So like I think about like that Gamora scene towards the end of the game, and Star-Lord's immediate reaction to it. It's like, yeah, like he's trying, like he says something like kind of funny, but it's also something to like, I don't know, to sort of like reassure Gamora in like Star-Lord's own kind of like awkward, sort of like weird way, if that makes any sense. So like I don't know, I found those moments to really work for me. So
I have one question to ask you. Did you happen to see the scene between Drax and Peter on Nowhere?
yeah, an incredible moment.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I was wondering if you came across it because it is missable, but because based on what you say, but I won't spoil it for instance if Walt didn't get to it. But it's one of my favorite moments in the entire game.
Yeah, it's a great moment, and and I really loved how it sort of like resolved and like tied up its loose ends by the end. With Nikki and everything like that whole storyline. And yeah, it's definitely like one of my favorites from this year. Really enjoyed it. And then also, I not too much time. Well, also Solar Ash. I've been playing that a lot. It's really fun, man. I think honestly, this is probably one of my favorites this year. It's just such a joy to play. Honestly, I just have so much fun just skating around, and it's really as simple as that. It feels so good to skate around. Like the platforming, like especially, well, I don't know if you've made it to this level specifically, but the
Hmm.
platforming just ratcheted up from like a 5 to like a 10. And I don't know, it's probably like one of the most like purely fun games that I've played this year. Because like my problem with like Guardians is that like the gameplay, that game literally hurt my hands, man. Like I did not enjoy playing that game. But
Yeah.
Solar Ash is awesome. But the other big game that I've been playing is not too much is Pray for the Gods, man. Um, it's
That was instant
Mm.
buy, huh?
Oh yeah, man. And I watched a review
Cool.
I watched a review on it, and he recommended it, the guy that I was watching. So yeah, that's like all the reassurance I needed, because I got nervous, like you guys know, like if something gets shadow dropped without much like marketing or anything like that, then it's kind of like, ooh, is this, did they shadow drop it? Did Sony not talk about it a lot for a reason? And so far, no, it's not, it's none of that. It's really really good so far. So yeah,
Nice, cool.
that's all I will say. And in terms of like it being a Shadow Colossus successor, spiritual successor, or whatever, it's hitting the mark for me right now. Especially because it's got a lot of like sort of survival elements, which I was not expecting. Right, like you got to keep track of your hunger, your warmth, like all these
Oh
things.
wow,
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more than I was expecting.
Sounds
interesting.
a lot more like
Don't
what's that
say it.
game?
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah, I won't say it. I won't say
No, no,
it.
I banged my head against the wall because the reviewer literally said the same thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but yeah, man,
To
those are
be
the games that I've
fair,
been. Oh, go ahead.
you don't you don't get hungry in that game. To be fair.
Uh,
Oh, so it is different. Okay, at least it's
oh,
innovative.
okay,
Okay, all right,
okay,
cool. Pray
okay.
for the gods invented hunger. Then cool, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly, exactly. It's more like the forest, 7 Days to Die, every single like survival game.
Oh,
Nice. Love to see it.
brother, this guy stinks. But yeah, man,
Wild.
those are the games I've been playing. What about you guys?
I'll go
I'll,
real quick.
yeah,
Jump
you go
in.
for it. Go for it.
Two, real quick. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14. Getting through the initial phases of it. I'm still like a level 36. But I'm loving the game. I know it's vanilla right now where I'm at, but having a blast. The music's fantastic. Gameplay is fun. Having a ton of fun with my tanky girl. Uh, Other than that, Soul, you mentioned Solar Ash. I actually beat Solar Ash this week.
Nice.
Solar Ash is definitely on my top 5 games of this year. I have to be honest.
Wow.
It blew it
It's
blew me
fun,
out of the
man.
water. Like it really is a super fun game. It has a surprisingly simple yet very effective story. It Because the story is very much told through like NPCs and like little notes around the world and like visages of like past characters. It's a really interesting premise that they have, and the design of the characters, the world, the visuals are something else. It's a beautiful game, and the music is always so hitting in the right spots when it has to, uh, whether that be in combat or platforming. And something that that game has that's like I think the most fun that I had in that game is these little trials where you have to hit uh it's like this needle that's on the world, and you have to do like this quick time trial where you have to hit it in different spots on the map, and you have to essentially just skate around and be super quick with your platforming. That was some of my favorite parts of the game. And and so you'll see that this game, the once you can complete it and whatnot, it seems like there's another mode that you unlock. So I'll be probably
Oh,
will be doing hardcore mode. Uh, the game is already not easy at times, so
yeah.
I don't want to imagine how hard it's gonna get. But yeah, man, that's what I've been doing this week: Final Fantasy and Solar Ash, and obviously SMT5 in the back. But we know how that's going. It's going beautifully. I fucking love that game. It's really hard. But yeah, man, uh, having a blast this week. How about you, Macho?
Yeah, I haven't really been gaming that much actually.
Mm.
But Endwalker's here and all that stuff. I just the queue times have been kind of crazy. I'm sure people have been following like the news, like this game. had to even shut down like sales and advertisements to stop selling the game. Yeah, I know it is. Yeah, it is my fault. I take full responsibility. And but yeah, I've been playing a little bit of that and going back and forth between watching The Witcher on Netflix and my Spider-Man marathon. But actually last night, even this morning, I dabbled into a new beta that just dropped called DNF Duel. I don't know if you guys heard of it. It's based on a Korean MMO brawler. It's like called Dungeon Fight or something like that. So each character is actually based off a class that's in the MMO, and it's done by none other than Arc System Works and the guys that did Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So it immediately just caught my attention. I started playing it, and man, it's fun. It's super simple as far as the button layout, and like kind of like you eventually have to figure out what you need to do because there's no like training online, so you just need to jump online, kind of get your ass kicked a couple times, and then you figure it out. But other than that, I mean, it's really cool. It doesn't have a release date, but I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to it just because of the caliber of Arc System's, visual design, and as well as UMVC3, the devs did that. Just that's my favorite fighting game of all time. So of course I'm gonna pay attention to what they do and stuff like that. So yeah, man, I highly advise it. It's on PS4 and PS5 right now. If you guys want to, or anybody in this chat that wants to actually see and play the game, it's up for download right now. And the online is buttery smooth. It felt like I was playing someone next to me, which is kind of insane for a beta. So hope it gets released soon.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's
about it.
Okay, cool.
That's it. Yeah.
Good shit.
All right, man. So we can go ahead and jump into the podcast. So we found out. I don't know when exactly we did, but we learned that PlayStation was finally releasing some plates for the PS5, some new colors. So yeah, I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. Man, I am stumbling my way through this topic, man. I apologize, but you guys know the deals. PlayStation released some plates, some colored plates. Like the colored Krabby Patties, man, from SpongeBob.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I was thinking that exact thing when I was looking at it.
I thought about macaroons rather.
Oh man.
I mean,
yeah, man.
They look good. The colors. First of all, okay, that's the first. The colors are, great colors. Prime commentary. They're great colors.
They're different. I'll say that they're different. I wasn't expecting them to kind of go with like this space themed. They have been going with like the DualSense colors, but I'm glad they actually. This is why I like the PS5 designs, because of the plates themselves, that you can actually customize how you want. So you could buy two sets of plates and basically mix and match it up, which I think is cool.
Essentially. Mm-hmm.
That's
you
like,
don't even need the plates,
different.
which is great. The PS5 is interesting how you can have your PlayStation without plates. It won't look good, but it'll be, the fan will breathe better.
Yeah.
But I know I saw a lot of people criticizing like Dbrand and like pricing and like but like the pricing isn't that different from when Dbrand did it initially. But I get it that Dbrand did it for like a year and then PlayStation was like, no. No,
it's definitely it's pricey. Yeah,
it is. Granted, I don't know how the quality is going to be of these alternatives. I assume it'll be the same quality as the ones that it already has, the white ones. I don't see myself getting it. Personally, for now at least, if they release like a special edition, I don't like God of War plates or some shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, like special edition plates. That's where my money's gonna go. For now, colors that'll go into controllers. Which, speaking of, they also announced different color controllers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I pre-ordered mine already. Like
which ones you buy?
I got the Starlight Blue, man.
You get the baby blue.
The baby blue, bro.
It does look cool. It looks cool.
It looks so nice. And the thing is, the day prior, I was like, legit. I was in my room playing, I think, Final Fantasy, and in my mind, like, I don't know where I saw the blue, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, it'd be sick if I had like a blue controller. I swear. And the next day, boom, they announced it. I'm like, oh shit, is Sony listening? I'm like, what's going on? But
that's crazy,
man.
Yeah. No, I kind of thought the same thing, because the light blue and the pink, just correctly match Endwalker's colors, which is again light blue and pink. So,
Man.
so like I started thinking about that. I'm like, oh man, do I have to get the pink and the blue plates now? Do I have to spend all that money? I kind of want to, man.
Yes, we do.
damn.
One for you, one for Sammy.
All your thoughts are goddamn Endwalker, man. Go outside and touch some grass, man.
That color scheme is sexy, bro. I don't know about you, but it's crazy. But yeah, no, it's just cool, man. It's cool stuff. But I'm kind of with you, Walt, and so the whole like I want special edition plates. Like if we get like some like Miles Morales plates,
Ooh,
that'd be cool, man.
that'll look good.
That would be sick.
That'll look. Or if you can like commission like a custom plates, bro, from Sony, like it like the controller deal with Xbox. Like
Yeah, I feel like Greg Miller probably has like one of the best ones out there where he has like who drew on his PS5 plate? It was like the artist from DC or something like that. He drew Superman.
Something like that.
something like
Super cool. Yeah. I need something like that.
You must have paid a fortune for that.
that. I mean, oh yeah. I don't got that fortune, but I'll take it if you give me the option to commission a custom plate. I would definitely do a Persona-esque style, like the red and black, very funky style. Yeah, man. Plates look good. It's a great alternative for those that want to change. I don't know, do a seasonal thing where you put a color every few months, or you want to change that. I don't know, gives alternatives, I guess. It's an option. They're not making you buy it. I don't see, if you don't want to buy it, don't buy it.
I'm interested to see what does Sil think though. Like when you saw it, you're like, I'm good, or it's just like, it is what it is.
About the plates?
Yeah, or just like the pricing of the plates or the colors or anything.
55. Yeah.
I mean, the price is probably like what I expected these things to cost, because goddamn controllers are like
really?
what, like $70. So yeah, I'm not too surprised.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, like I said earlier, I don't know. I probably won't get these, but yeah, if they were to release like a Horizon themed, plate set, or like a God of War or anything along those lines, then yeah, that's probably what I'm more interested in. But then like at the same time, those I'd imagine to be probably double the price. So
Yeah.
even that
But
is
it
gonna
would
be
be
a tough
worth it.
So
I
don't know.
But
Will it?
That's the thing. It'll be worth it if the design is there. If it's only, let's say, like if it's Final Fantasy, let's say, and it's only a few stars on the sides, and it's like, oh yeah, this is the sky of Final Fantasy. I don't know, like something that simple, like it wouldn't justify the pricing. But if you give me like a plate that has etchings and everything, and it's engravings with like a special edition, and the pricing is a bit higher, for me, it will depend on how it looks, and because again, I'm the one spending the money. I'll know if it's worth it or not for me. But like, it's like collector's edition, If it's like the Elden Ring one that just went live again, the $259 one. People might be like, oh, $259 for plastic. It's like, yeah, but it's pretty plastic, okay? It's pretty.
Exactly. Yeah, it kind of boils down to every collector's. It's pretty plastic.
It's pretty plastic, okay? It's blue instead of white this time. But yeah, man. I mean, people are entitled to their opinions, so I mean, whether they think this is worth it or not, yeah, I mean, it'll sell. that much I know. It's gonna sell.
Yeah. So. No, definitely. I mean, to that point, I mean, it was a smart move on Sony's part to make the detachable plates in the first place, because this is definitely gonna sell. People love customizing just like things in general. And yeah, you give them the option to do so, then they will. But yeah,
that's me. I'm a sucker.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Hey man, I almost bought that piss colored Death Stranding controller, man. So
Yikes! Yo, I saw Macho. I think it was on Twitter. He was like talking about how if they make a green plate or like a green controller, he's like down for it.
Yeah,
green.
Green, my guy.
What?
Like an emerald green. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because
What's
someone posted up like the same green, like you know how some people posted up with like a game. So someone posted up the like a darker emerald green with Returnal.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, okay, that would actually be pretty sexy.
Imagine
like
like I imagine lemon green. That was just nasty in my mind.
No.
This is this is completely unrelated, but it just reminded me while I was grinding on these rails. I went to watch Spider-Man last night, and they played the Sonic 2 trailer at the at there. And when it ended, somebody in the crowd was like, "What the hell?"
Did you see the edited version online where Knuckles says something at the end after his line?
No, I didn't see that.
I gotta show you. It's bad funny. It actually fits Knuckles. It's actually pretty funny.
Bro, it's funny. So because I saw Thursday the movie, and I also got that trailer, but the people in the were just like
Asleep.
when Tails appeared, I audibly heard someone in the back row go, "Ew." I'm like, ugh. And someone was like, "Oh, that's Tails."
Oh man! Listen. We got 3 concurrent viewers right now. Don't make it 1, all right?
Yeah, man. This song. Hey, I don't blame them if they want to leave after the Sonic talk, man. Anyway, yeah. Let's move on. Let's move on before they all leave. Yeah, man. We could quickly kind of gloss over, or not gloss over, but talk about Horizon Forbidden West. Got a new trailer detailing some of the machines in the Forbidden West. So we got to look at the Sunwings, which we had already kind of previously seen in that initial reveal trailer. And then the Rollerbacks, we got more information on those, which was revealed for the first time in that Game Awards trailer. And then the one that I'm truly excited for is the Slitherfang, man. Slitherfang hype. Are you kidding me, man? This was, again, I think we talked about it in the Game Awards podcast, but that was the one that I was like that had my jaw dropped. Like it looked so cool, man. So yeah, what was
I
you
can't wait
guys?
to see.
Go ahead.
Sorry, what you saying?
No, go ahead. I was just gonna ask what was you guys' thoughts on the new machines?
I immediately thought of like how we're gonna break this thing down and kill it.
Yeah.
Looked at it. I looked at it and I saw like it's like what like that its head. It kind of so it kind of sprout up, kind of like how a cobra would. I'm like, oh, I can hit that. I can hit that. maybe there's something. Maybe you can take off like a fang or something. Oh man, super cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I audibly went when I saw the clamber jaws. I was like, "Oh shit, dope monkeys!" Like I was like, "Oh cool, we get monkeys in this game." And I think, funny enough, I feel like monkeys are always like that one enemy in a video game, whether that be based on a monkey or not. That's always so much fun to fight because they're so unpredictable at times. Maybe much like in Sekiro when you fight the damn monkeys or the monkey. It looks like fun. The Cobra, what's it called, Slitherfang?
Yeah. Come on, man.
Holy
get
hell,
his name
that
right.
thing. That thing.
Whoa!
Bro, the Slitherfang. That thing looks hella intimidating,
Man.
and it's
Man,
the one
the energy's
enemy.
weird today, man.
If Alo doesn't pronounce it like that in the game, I'll be highly upset. Huh?
Bro, it's the only enemy so far. Granted, they are all bananas, because again, they're larger than life. Like those are huge monkeys. You got the big thunderbirds. I mean, they're huge enemies. But the Slitherfang specifically is so. It feels so purposefully created. Like it feels like that thing will serve like a higher purpose. I don't know. It gives me that vibe. Very, very much similar, not to the point of like Hades or Gaia, but very, very specific to an area. You know, you have enemies that are like in various areas, like the Velociraptor type enemies or the Thunderjaws, but that one just seems so meticulously crafted for a specific area. I wonder if it's gonna be only one, or like multiple ones, or if it's like a legendary type of enemy that it's like roaming an area and you have to defeat it and you get like special like parts for an armor. Which that's another thing. Hopefully, the armor in this game is like banana. It's amazing because the first one had great ideas. And
I mean, they showed like goddamn 10 outfits in the VGA trailer, man. So I was
but like I wonder
happy.
if like you'll be incentivized to hunt certain creatures to get those parts for even higher tier loot. Not so much the complete this challenge to get this outfit, but more so craft this or craft that. But those machines, I'm so happy that we have such a variety of machines in the turtle, man. I'm still obsessing over that turtle, the tortoise. It looks
yeah.
I'm kind of hoping we see a tiger in those jungles, man.
Yo, man,
Like
wanna die?
some kind. It'll be cool, man.
But,
let's see their version of a tiger. It'd be so
It's gonna
dope.
be huge, man. It's gonna be like
To that point, to Walt's point, that was like the coolest thing to me about Zero Dawn was like how how they actually sort of like justified their world, because it would have been so and I think a lot of people were thinking about this too before the game came out, was like robot dinosaurs in a kind of like, I don't know, tribalistic sort of like setting, like that's not gonna work, on like story wise, that's not gonna work, but they absolutely justify it and make it work and make it make sense. And like in terms of like the machines, right? Like you said, like each of them had a purpose.
yeah.
So like
whether that be like ecosystem,
yeah, like
maintenance.
the snap malls like were responsible for detoxifying the water. The birds that you fought, they were responsible for detoxifying the air. And so like it kind of made you like double think, like, oh crap, like these things are like actually like restoring the goddamn earth, and we're killing them all.
Or they kill them for parts.
Yeah,
You goddamn
man.
poacher.
Yeah, so I love when games are like able to like recontextualize themselves like that.
Yeah.
Especially when you spend hours and hours killing these things, kind of like absent-mindedly, not really thinking about it, and then you get to the point in the story where Project Zero Dawn's revealed, and you're like, oh crap, like these things actually mean something and have a purpose in this world. They're not just like, machine fodder or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You get that Shadow of the Colossus treatment where it's like
a little bit, yeah. Yeah, for
fucked
sure.
up. you know?
For sure.
And I love it. I love when they turn the tables like that. But it's very much how, because I think in Horizon Zero Dawn, correct me if I'm wrong, but the forges, that's where the creatures were made, right?
The cauldrons, yeah.
The cauldrons.
Yeah.
So even if you killed them, they were still being produced, but you have to like turn off these cauldrons, right?
Even or I don't know if you turn them off, but I think you just like fought like the bosses at the end, and
Right.
then you get like a new ability to like hack the specific boss that you fought in that place. But like, yeah, I mean
Right.
that
I think it
goes
was corrupted by Hades.
so yeah,
think.
probably. But like even that, like, you just mentioned like the cultures, even that is like it just further proves this point of like, that's not just a random dungeon. Like even that has a purpose within the game world. Like, like these are the places where these machines are being created by the Hephaestus subordinate function in Gaia. Which again, man, god damn, Horizon's such a cool game. I love
It
that
really is,
that
man.
world, man.
It's so dope.
Yeah, but
It's
okay.
so different from anything else. That's why it's one of my favorites. And it came out. This is trash. The story's boring. I'm like, what?
I can't. Yeah, I can't.
We have
fathom.
such a negative people have such a negative like perspective of stories that are told through collectibles or the world in that sense. Because an example, granted, it was an extreme way of doing it, but Destiny 1, the story was very much told through grimoires, and you had to like look it up online through like unlockables that you would do throughout the story, and you would read up about the quests or in the backstory of certain characters in the world. It was to an extreme point to where it made it tedious to just do a challenge to unlock more story that you could otherwise just look up online. But with Horizon, I feel like it strikes that middle ground where the current story is good enough to push you to discover more of what happened, and that ties into why everything is the way. If you're invested in that world, you will be motivated to keep learning more about this world through the logs and recordings and To the point where I bet a lot of people didn't get to that final scene where I forgot her name, the doctor's name, the biological um,
It's it's,
mother.
it's like Lisbeth or something like that.
Yeah, how there's this scene where you get to where she passed away and you see her body, and I don't know if that's something that you get through even no matter what you do in the game, if it's an end game thing, or if you have to follow her like logs and go through all of it all the way
No,
to the end.
I think it's tied to the actual main story from what I played this year. Like, I don't think
Okay.
that's missable,
Yeah,
just
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
because like it's like it has such a good
Good.
like foundation for Aloy
It
and
is.
like kind of for purpose. Yeah.
Okay, I got worried because I was like, man, is this? Because I explored every nook and cranny of that game, every lore piece, I 100% of that game. So I was like worried where, oh wait, are people gonna miss this? But no, if it's tied in, then I'm glad. Yeah, that's such a great way to end the franchise. I wonder if we'll learn more about those people. I feel like we learned enough. I wonder if we'll learn about other places of like how their protocol went or like how their evacuations were or whatever they did, and if there was another piece of crap that burned their history like they did in this one. We'll see, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Macho. I'm gonna. This is a rare opportunity, man.
Let's
I'm
go.
gonna give you the opportunity to talk about Final Fantasy 14.
Woo!
All right,
Is he really?
so, so tell me what's going on, man? Is Yoshi P suffering from success, man? What's going on, man?
100%. Yeah, I mean, kind of just the whole gist and point of this is that the fact that people are logging into Final Fantasy 14 quite sporadically. People listened. That's just a pretty claim of RPG with a free trial. It's now closed to everybody. You can't log in.
Rip.
Yeah, I mean, we've been having login issues since I guess more or less like kind of day of, and not because like the
Wait,
servers
hold up for a sec. You're kind of botting a little bit.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
All right, how's it sound now?
Keep
Sound
talking.
good? Am I good? Check mic check 1 2 3.
Yeah,
Mic check
you're still botting a little bit.
Okay, hold on. Let me take this out real quick.
Okay.
See if this works.
Walt, what have you been seeing this too? Have you been able to
I
even like log in at all?
I'm playing now. Luckily, the wait time was just there was 25 on queue, but the whole week when I try to log in, there's been over 2,000 people on
God
queue.
damn.
So I've had to wait at least 45 minutes to an hour every time I log in to log in. So
Jesus Christ.
the
All right, how do I
longest one I
sound
had
now?
You
was
you
like
sound perfect.
Oh,
the
perfect. Okay, cool.
the longest one was like the beginning of this week that there was 3,000 people on queue, and I just left the game waiting on the queue, and I did so much in the house. When I came back, I was like, "Oh, I'm still waiting. Let me take a nap." And I wake up, and I was like in the hundreds, and I'm like, "Okay, now I can play. Now I'm playing a bit." It's been ridiculous, but again, so once you're in this, the game is so good that you're just willing to wait that. If you have the time, granted, this week is not a good week for you to pick up the game for half an hour before work because you're not going to be able to play.
Not not only that, because you can't you can't
You
buy it.
can't exactly. You're not going to be able because
I wasn't planning
yeah.
to.
God, man. But yeah, man, that's been my experience this week. I don't know how I know Match is more deep into like the inner workings of how this is going. Match, you were saying?
Yeah, so the whole thing with like I'm experiencing the same thing as you, where like I log in, after work hours, and then I like go work out, or maybe like I'll watch a movie, and I'll just wait to log back in. But the whole thing about it's like it's a lot because of the chip shortage that's going on. They can't make more servers because everything's backordered and supply issues and all that stuff. So it's really tied to just they can't get the materials they need, not because they can't do the job efficiently. Regardless, they're actually giving 21 extra days of playtime to people that did buy the game and aren't able to log in, which is cool. So less money to spend on your subscription for that. And other than that, man, it's they're just doing what they can to make sure everything's starting to work again. But from what I've seen, people are actually starting to log in a little more every now and then. my friend who just joined, who actually bought the game just in time, she's been able to log in every now and then too. So I think everybody's they're starting to get to it. But man, it's the hype is real. The fact that they had to pull ad revenue, or not ad revenue, they had to pull just advertisements in general, and actual people from buying the game, which is kind of crazy. I don't think there's a game that I know that's ever done that.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before. That's insane, man.
Yeah, and it's not because like there's like like past games where like there's like a game breaking bug or whatever, they had to re-release a game or something like that. It's really because they're suffering some from success.
Have you seen that meme?
Have I? It's literally the one that floods the replies every time the account tweets something out.
It's so funny, man.
So I had to give props, man. Like that's what I love about this community in general, is that that even when it's something like this, where like it can be like kind of a damper to some people that want to play the game, but
Right.
people are just behind the devs 100%, and are staying away from spoiling the game too, which is nice. So
Yeah, that's awesome, man, for sure. Because I feel like other communities in general will be like on fire, or just
like
generally
Halo.
yeah, like they just like hate everything that the kind of like community managers or just like the devs are doing in general. But like I don't know, with Final Fantasy 14, it's one of those rare games that like I always see like people are just happy, with like everything that comes out of it.
Yeah,
So
it's honestly not like no joke. Because like the thing is, like my cousin and I, we have this Discord group for our grand company. And even then, like people like in a Discord, like not like upset or anything. Like we're just kind of like help each other out with like what are the best times to get online, and like, that kind of stuff. So it's like a community aspect that I've never experienced before. So it's cool that happens to happen with my favorite franchises.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's about it with Final Fantasy, man. Great stuff though.
Cool. Okay, let's talk about Ubisoft, man. They I mean, man, it's never a good time to talk about Ubisoft, but we'll give them some time now. They announced Splinter Cell, the original Splinter Cell is getting a full-on remake. And they were very quick to come out and say that, hey, this is a single player game, built from the ground up, a full remake, not a remaster. So yeah, I wanted to get first of all, what's everyone's familiarity with the Splinter Cell franchise?
I have none. I have no history of this franchise,
Hmm.
to be quite honest. But I can say one thing about this announcement though. But I'll let Walt dive into his history first before we go there.
Let me tell you about Splinter Cell in my life. I have never in my life touched it.
Oh man.
I have never in my life played it. I've always been on the end where I've heard people sing the praises of this game through and through constantly. Constantly. This game is one of those games like Half-Life 3 where people just wouldn't shut up about it. In this case, it did exist, but people were just singing how amazing it was and how they wanted Sam Fisher to come back, and there's a teaser, he's coming back. When they did that, I think it was E3. I don't remember the event it was, and they showed like Sam Fisher's the goggle thing, the night vision thing, and it was just that one little teaser, and they were like, they're bringing Splinter Cell back, and it wasn't that.
Man, because they kept whoring him out throughout all the Ubisoft games. He was
Yeah,
in
man.
like the Division. He was in the Ghost Recon Wildland thing or whatever. Like he was in
Feels like
all
they're
these
doing-
things.
Feels like they're doing that now with Silent Hill, where it's like Silent Hill's everywhere, but we're not bringing it back.
Oh man.
I don't have such treatment that, man. I'm excited because I know what Splinter Cell is. I know that the history of it more or less, and the type of video game that it was, and what it did that made people just fall in love with it. The stealth aspects of it, and how it stood out so much, and how it was. A lot of people said that it was ahead of its time. Am I excited? I'm looking forward to see what Ubisoft does. However, that doesn't mean I'm looking forward for whatever good thing they do, because that's not necessarily synonymous lately with Ubisoft. But Hey man, it's a remake of a game that I never played. I'm always down for that. When it's specifically like Alan Wake, they remastered it. I bought it, and I'm gonna play that eventually for the get ready for the sequel. So that's pretty much where my history is, man. I don't have any, but I've heard of it nonstop.
Yeah, so for me, it's kind of sporadic. Like I played the original, I played Chaos Theory. I never finished it though. And then like I played probably like what I think the fans would consider some of like the weaker entries. I played Conviction on the 360, and then I played Double Agent on the Wii,
Oh wow.
which surprisingly, like I think that game gets a lot of flack, but I don't know. I probably would have to go back to it. So because I'm pretty sure my I don't know, my like 14-year-old mind back then was just like happy to play anything. So like I'm probably looking at it with like rose-tinted glasses a little bit, but like I from what I remember, I didn't think that game was that bad. But like man, people hate Double Agent. Um, but yeah, so my history with it is kind of sporadic. But yeah, man, I I don't know. I was about to say I'm excited for a full blown remake, but then again, I don't even know if I can say that.
Yeah, man.
I'm interested to see what this actually looks like, running. This isn't like the Dead Space remake where like, oh yeah, like I want to try that out, because I've never played that game. Um, but yeah, for Splinter Cell, I'm interested to see what it's gonna look like running. The gameplay, updated gameplay. Um,
Hmm.
I think the biggest thing for me, like the biggest story, to come out of this is really like the timing. I just find so fascinating because
Mm-hmm.
we all know this is coming hot off the heels of that
Mm.
Ubisoft Quartz thing or whatever that they announced. And then they got what did they do? They like immediately pulled the trailer off of YouTube or something like that. Um, and then Ubisoft was like, okay, we gotta announce this.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I found that really really interesting. As if to remind people, like, no, we're still making like semi normal games that don't have NFTs and things like that. Like, please, guys, don't be mad at us. Um,
Man,
so yeah, I found that pretty interesting.
Uh-huh,
NFTs, man.
100%. It felt
Topic of the
like
week.
I'm glad you said that, so because that was immediately what I wanted to get into. It felt like damage control.
Oh, 100%. Because this thing is years away. And for
Yep.
them, they didn't even have any gameplay for this, right?
No, no, it was just a
No.
teaser.
Yeah.
It
So
was legit just a teaser.
yeah, so that this really just and also another big reason as to like why that this was just like kind of just like thrown out there is because like they correct me if I'm wrong, they have like in the teaser like now hiring or something like that.
Probably,
Yeah,
probably.
like
I saw something like that on Twitter, but I
yeah,
don't know if it was in the teaser.
yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Did it?
So
Okay.
yeah, this game is probably just like an idea right now.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I found it really fascinating.
It was last night's idea, that's for sure.
Oh man.
Because they didn't even like this is something like you would want to put like in the presentation or like UB what was it? What are they called? UB Presents or something like that? What are those
Yeah.
showcases called?
Like Ubisoft Forward.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. Okay, yeah. That's something they'll announce in there. This was straight up like someone pressed the button at 12 a.m. midnight and just, just like, yeah, let's just finally announce this thing. Even though we just, agreed to do it last night. Felt like damage control, man. That's why I'm like, it's not made, I feel like it's not made with good intentions. So
Yeah,
it's immediately like off putting to me.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that was very that was something that I noticed immediately, and I found really really funny. Um, all right, Macho, you wanted to talk about villains that you want to see in Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, yeah. So this one I want to just connect to the whole Spider-Man theme that's going on throughout the entire week and No Way Home releasing this week as well. So I wanted to bring like a nice and different topic other than just like what are our favorite Spider-Man games or something like that. Instead, since No Way Home features the return of classic movie Spider-Man villains that I'm sure a lot of Spider-Man fans are familiar with, I wanted to kind of bring to the table what are your top three or even top two, whatever top villain that you want to see in Insomniac Spider-Man 2. We do know from the first trailer that Venom is going to be in there, and judging by the narration, that Kraven the Hunter is going to be there. So, is there any returning villains you guys want to see? Maybe is there like a new villain that you haven't seen in a game before? Do you want to see in Insomniac Spider-Man 2? Yeah, what's one of the first villains that comes to mind that you want to see in the new game?
Yeah, I feel like I don't have like much to really like add to this because they're already doing like Venom, and that's like all that I really wanted to like see because they did like goddamn the entire Sinister Six in the last game, and also like at the same time I'm not familiar with like like the hardcore or like lesser known villains of the Spider-Man universe. So like I couldn't, I when someone says like the Chameleon, I'm not excited because like I don't really know I don't know what he does. So yeah, man, I feel like they've done like all like pretty much the major ones. I'm not excited to see if they ever do Mysterio because he's like a goddamn special effects guy, and I beat his ass in Spider-Man 2 on the PS2. So like I'm not excited. I'm not excited if they do him. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like yeah, Craven sounds cool because I think he was also in the Spider-Man 3 game on PS3. Um,
He's also
but
in Shattered Dimensions too. Yeah.
oh, okay. I didn't play that one. But yeah. So yeah, they're doing Venom. So yeah, I that's pretty much all that I need.
Cool. Well, what are you thinking?
From what we saw at the end of this of both Spider-Man, actually, we saw how Norman is looking at something, and we assume that's the symbiote, right? The the thing in the
Yeah,
container.
yeah. In the container at the end of the game, yeah, he's looking at what is soon to be Harry inside that tube,
So my
and then the Venom symbiote. Yeah.
given that we saw that teaser, I immediately well, first of all, when you said top hero villains, granted I have bias. The recency bias was seeing Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin. I That's a very interesting villain, especially because that's probably like in Spider-Man history one of his most uh like one of the biggest villains he's ever had to face, and one of the most impactful in his life.
It's one of the
So
biggest
I'd be
like
interested
villains in general, and like Marvel in
in
general.
general, and
He
yeah,
he
in,
was
in
like he was like
Marvel.
Thanos before Thanos, in my opinion, at least.
Exactly. He was in development and in premise such an interesting character. I'm interested to see what Insomniac does, if they whether that be him or Hobgoblin. Because if Harry's there, and probably they're either going with Hobgoblin or they're going straight to Green Goblin with Harry. I don't know if that would be a thing. Um,
Do people even like the Hobgoblin?
He's like a cool spin off of Green Goblin, but he's not very
yeah,
well known.
So I feel
yeah,
like Green Goblin is like he's like fucking like iconic, man. And
He is
yeah.
absolutely.
he's like legitimately like terrifying, man, at times.
Yeah, he's what Spider-Man's Joker. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And in regards
That's a
to
good way to put it.
Hobgoblin, I know that what makes him stand out so much is the idea that he is Peter's best friend, and he turns out to be this way. So they can play around with that. If they play around with that well, and it's all about the execution. They can knock it out of the park. Uh, Something that comes to mind. You mentioned Venom is assuming Venom doesn't have a host yet. Uh, or is looking for another host. It'd be interesting if both Miles and Peter are in this game. Maybe have an act, whether that be towards the end or towards the middle, where either Miles or Peter gets controlled by the symbiote, and then as the other Spider-Man, you have to like combat this. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe like Miles is faltering a little bit, wavering in that like the right thing versus what has to be done, and maybe he sees this opportunity with the symbiote and he takes it on, and you see Miles Morales Venom, Venofied,
So like
and then
I like
yeah,
I think for me like it instead of villains, what I'm more interested in is like the idea of like other like Spider-Man or Spider people Like I want to see like Madam Web or like Spider Gwen or Silk. Like those are the characters that I'm more interested in seeing than like I don't know than I guess villains.
Another villain.
Personally, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the case because we saw, like you mentioned, we saw 6 of these people in Spider-Man 1. Granted, they were treated beautifully, and that game came out fantastic. But I feel like that game had a good mixture of drama but yes, if they introduce more, yeah, whether that be Spider-Gwen or bringing another hero, I don't know, into the fray to add some, because I know Spider-Man has like huge ties with like Daredevil or something. Like if they manage to pull that off to where they feature like Matt Murdock in there. Maybe they first introduce him as a lawyer, and you're like, oh, and then boom, you like meet him in one of the missions, like at night or something. It's like, who is this guy? You know who this guy is, but he doesn't know.
Yeah, I would love to see Daredevil in there and Sonic Spider-Man for sure. That'd be cool.
That would be crazy, and that's because Spider-Man has such good ties with so many people, both heroes and villains. But that be for better or for worse. You have such flexibility to introduce so whoever, and it'll work out as long as the execution's there and you focus on the main thing, which is their relationship with Spider-Man and how that ties in. I'm excited to see what they do, but in terms of what villain I would love to see, it be the one that I haven't seen from Insomniac. That'd be Green Goblin. Or I mean, if there another one, because I'm not too versed on the comics. I don't know if there's another villain that might be just blowing my socks off.
Yeah, I'll chime in and then I'll probably head out because I gotta start going soon. I think the one villain that really came to mind that I would love to see, we only see in the game once, and that was Web of Shadows, is Mobius. I would love for kind of like this otherworldly, fantastical kind of character.
Mobius was in Web of Shadows?
He was a boss, yeah.
How do I not remember that? I love Web of Shadows.
It's a small part in the game, but it's one that stuck out to me because like I've never seen it done in a Spider-Man game before, as far as I can recall.
He's also in Spider-Man 3 in that game.
Is he?
Yeah.
See, that I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure he's in Spider-Man.
We're a bunch of posers.
Oh man.
But yeah, like I was hoping to see that, and I really would love to see Electro come into this one and not in his like dumb outfit from the comics. Was he? I thought that was Shocker in the Spider-Man.
No, Shocker was there as well.
Yeah, both of them.
But Electro was one of the 6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to see his dumbass in this in Spider-Man 2.
I guess all right. I need to go back on it.
If anything, Scorpion.
No, Scorpion was in.
Scorpion as well. Goddamn,
yeah,
man.
I don't,
man, we all need to replay the game, man.
I need to replay that game, man.
Replay the game.
Again, I don't want to see Rhino. I don't want to see Scorpion. I don't want to see Vulture. I don't want to see any.
I don't want to see no animals.
Yeah, any villains named after an animal, get out of here. You had your time. And you failed.
All right, yeah. Then Mobius would be my one because I think that's such a cool like Loki Spider-Man villain. And if well, you kind of just fired off a couple of ideas in my head. If they bring Daredevil into it, I'd love to see Kingpin kind of come back and both of them take on Kingpin.
Because he's still working. Like Kingpin is still like pretty much a force in this world. So, we saw in Miles Morales, he's still working from prison. So like, you could very much have a Kingpin situation. Or honestly, man, with Mr. Negative as well, I never thought of that villain until they brought him into this game. So like, they can pretty much pull some villain out of the water, and I know, Big Wheel. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, true. But yeah, that's what I kind of had in mind. But I'm gonna start heading out, fellas. Before I do, just want to say thank you for a great year of podcasting, and to the viewers, man, just thank you for everything. We passed our sub goal, man. We passed 50 subs, and so you pointed out the other day, we beat it by like 12. We beat it by 13 now. We got 63 subs. So,
hey,
Super proud of us, and
Watch someone unsubscribe right
Go back to 12.
oh man, sometimes make me edit the video. Goddamn. But no, I'm proud of you guys, and here's to 2022, man. We'll be back in the podcast. All seen right now is January 8th will be like kind of a return podcast, and then we'll talk about more about what we're going to discuss in that as the time comes closer. But don't think that the channel is MIA. We will be doing other stuff too, whether it's Soul and his reactions or me and Walt jumping on a stream or something like that. It's not going to be dead, so definitely tune into the channel, and see you guys in 2022.
Yes, sir. We'll see you then, man. Enjoy.
All right, man. See you guys.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Peace.
So yeah, man, we can keep going for a little bit longer. There's one specific thing I wanted to bring up, and that was Stalker 2. I don't know if you heard about this, but this was a wild roller coaster for this game that I was personally like pretty excited because it's only like a 3-month exclusive, or console exclusive, so it's coming to PlayStation like in 2022 as well. So I was pretty excited for it because from what I hear, the first game is like really, really good. It's one of those games that PC players really, really love. So yeah, I was looking forward to trying this out. But yeah, the developer of Stalker 2 definitely had a wild week. They announced earlier in the week that they were planning to introduce NFTs. This idea of players paying to become an NPC within the actual game, and they seemed really excited to announce that. As if they were not expecting any backlash of any sort. And then I think literally within the same day or maybe a few days afterwards, they immediately backtracked and said, "Okay, we're not doing that." So I'm gonna read out exactly what happened in case anyone isn't familiar. So the studio basically announced earlier this week that it was teaming up with NFT trading platform D-Market to use blockchain technology that it claimed let the community own a piece of Stalker 2, quote unquote. Players would have been able to register for item drops, the first of which was going to be an auction that allowed one player to become an NPC in the game. And then, so they'd be able to auction, for someone to become an NPC. GSC, Game World, which is the developers of Stalker 2, they said it would initiate, the metaversal bridge and bring a new digital era and unique meta experience you've never had before. Now, just a few days later, all of these plans have been scrapped. So on Thursday, the official Stalker Twitter account posted a lengthy statement saying that they wanted to use the potential income from NFT to improve the long-awaited game to make it better. So although this tweet appeared to be reiterating its commitment to use NFTs, right? That was the weird thing to me, that it was like they weren't like, saying that like, okay, yeah, we understand, like, yeah, NFTs are terrible. Like we should have understood, this. We should have had the foresight to know that the backlash was coming. No, they were like, well, we wanted to use the NFTs as an opportunity to make the game better, almost like shedding like a positive light on NFTs, which was weird
and hard to do, especially this week where NFTs has not only been, they've been a huge talk, not only in this with this video game, but just in general, and people understanding what it is doesn't make it. Here's the thing: if they try to make people understand what NFTs are, that's only gonna make it worse, because they're gonna realize just how much of it doesn't work. This won't work. It wasn't gonna work. And if they went through with it, and it was gonna be very similar to Battlefront 2 when it came out. They first did where the microtransactions would essentially allow you to be better in the game. This would be just a different kind of blow, to where it sounds like a stock market, to where oh yeah, you can own a piece of Stalker 2. What?
And the funny thing is, the funny thing is that within like their first statement explaining like why they wanted to use the NFTs and whatever. It's like they didn't make their situation like any better because they also said when talking about the NPC offers that that they were auctioning off to players, they stated that the NPC that they're the faces of several NPCs who aren't even involved in the story. So it's like okay, so like what? I feel like that makes it even worse. Like people are paying like what, like a couple $1,000s, to be an NPC in the game, but then it's like you're inconsequential, character at that who has like no sort of like influence on the story, who has no say on the story, right? For all intents and
Yeah,
purposes,
just an extra.
yeah,
Just an
yeah,
extra.
exactly. Could you imagine that paying like 2 grand to play to play an extra in this game?
Hell no. I
Man,
expect it's. I can see that if you're getting like pay a couple hundred to be an extra in a movie, but you paying a couple thousand so that you can be someone that could potentially be completely missable by every single player.
yeah,
That would
that
be
is.
the complete asinine idea. It's horrible.
Yeah,
Oh, it.
it's pretty wild. And then like so then they had another statement. So funnily enough, so that first statement of them basically like talking about like the NPCs and sort of
Mm,
like defending why they're using NFTs, that was
yeah.
deleted. And then because fan backlash was just getting like like more and more intense. A few hours later, they tweeted another statement saying, "Dear stalkers, which is also a very bad like fan base name to refer like to refer
No.
to your fan base, very very bad." They're
Oh
like, "We
man.
hear you. Based on the feedback we received, we've made the decision to cancel anything NFT related in Stalker 2. The interests of our fans and players are the top priority for the team. We are making this game for you to enjoy, whatever the cost is. If you care, we care too." The tweet has over 116,000 likes, which is insane.
How many quote retweets?
I don't know. This is what I'm going off of.
It has to be high as heck, because people are just burning them,
Yeah, for
burning
sure.
them.
Which is like cool, like good on them for reversing them, but at the same time, I'm not like giving them like an applause or thanking
No, the
them
damage is
or
done.
yeah, yeah. As for me, man, I'm not interested in this game anymore. Just purely off of this. And I guess this is just kind of like this leads to like a wider discussion. Like, do you think that this is where the industry is heading to? Like, do you think other companies are looking at this and potentially, I guess, kind of gauging like how far they can take NFTs and wondering like, okay, so like obviously, from EA's perspective, they're probably like, okay, so obviously, this didn't work in Stalker 2's case, and with Ubisoft, this didn't work. What can we do to maybe mitigate, backlash? Like how far can we take it? So I think it's probably what all of these companies are thinking right now.
Oh, 100%. And funny enough, when you asked, what other do I see other companies doing it? Instantly, to my mind, I thought EA is 100% looking at this and thinking, okay, let's start researching, let's start doing some trials here, some hypotheses, and just researching every single method, and how you mentioned, just to mitigate any type of backlash. And essentially, this this is the first of many to come. Will it be will it be properly executed? Can this be a properly executed idea? That's something that honestly we have seen. Look at microtransactions, for example. That was such a still it doesn't have a positive light, even nowadays with more current video games, whether that be, Fortnite, Call of Duty. There's still people that do not in any way, shape, or form appreciate microtransactions. But when it's about,
But
if
they've
it's
been
a
successful,
cosmetic, exactly.
unfortunately.
If there's exceptions to it, if it's a microtransaction that only gives you, cosmetic looks, a different way of appearing or respawning, if the microtransaction is very much a cosmetic or a just physically altering kind of object, it's justified in a more positive light. That and if then like with Battlefront 2, where you would essentially pay to win a match instantly. So you have two versions of microtransactions. One is more tolerated than the other. I definitely see NFTs reach that point to
Yeah.
where you will have Stalker 2 type NFTs and more widely accepted NFTs. What does that look like?
Yeah, who knows?
I do not know. And I don't, because I don't want to live in that type of world where video games just start adopting this just
Yeah.
bizarre tactic.
Yeah, it's a good point because yeah, absolutely. Like microtransactions have been for the most part accepted. I mean, goddamn, you look at the money that PlayStation or even Xbox makes off of microtransactions alone. Like it it's such a large portion of the overall pie. I think it's actually like majority of like what they make in like an entire year. Goddamn EA makes billions off of Ultimate Team alone, right?
And GTA 5 Online,
Yeah, for
look at the,
sure. Yeah. And so
to
like
this day.
yeah, so yeah, it's definitely something that has been like even though, the hardcore audience, hates it, it's something that the casuals have taken to, and I feel like
Hmm.
NFTs more than likely could be something that is gonna follow suit in that same vein. All it takes is that one company to sort of like strike, I don't know, strike some sort of balance of like, okay, like what can we get away with? What's gonna cause like the least amount of backlash? Because obviously, but at the same time, like gamers have made it clear that like we don't want this shit in our games, right?
No.
Yeah, I feel like we made that clear with both, the Ubisoft Quartz thing and then, the Stalker 2 thing. So like at the same time I feel like that's going to put pause on some of these companies from, thinking about this in the first place. But at the same time there is going to be that one company that like thoroughly thinks this through and doesn't do this haphazardly like I feel like Stalker 2 kind of did and Ubisoft
Hmm.
did. Like there's gonna be that one company that really thinks about this and probably gets like scientists out and they're like, okay, so like what exactly can we get away with here? It's
Put
gonna
the
take
lab
trial and
coats
error.
on.
It's gonna take trial and
Put,
error. There's gonna be a
oh,
lot more
absolutely.
cases of this happening, of Stalker 2s, of Ubisoft Courts before we get to that one company that gets like the least amount of backlash probably. And
Oh, absolutely. And it probably won't be as obvious as it was with his. It won't be as obvious as, oh, we're featuring NFTs. They're gonna find a way to disguise it as something else. And after like a month, people are gonna be like, wait, this is what Stalker 2 tried to do? Wait, why are we here? By the time that they realize that it's gonna be like microtransactions, it's gonna be too late. Like, it's gonna become a norm. It honestly, this is such a modern and such a recent concept, the NFT thing, where I'm still like trying to grasp certain
yeah, for
aspects of it
sure.
and how it functions. Honestly,
Yeah.
it
That
it's like
that
a more insane version of a crypto. It
that's why I feel like yeah that like it is gonna go through a trial and error period where a lot of these companies are trying to figure out what can they do exactly with this before
mm-hmm,
someone eventually quote unquote gets it right. Yeah,
100%.
yeah, for sure. Because yeah, this thing does feel like I mean all of us are still trying to figure out like what this thing is exactly. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely gonna be one of those things that's like ever changing. But someone will get it right, quote unquote right.
Yeah, they'll get it. They'll get it. They'll be able to pitch it in a way where enough of the audience is tolerant of it. Of course, you'll always have that hardcore minority where, like, I
I
mean,
mean,
in our
hell,
case,
there's
us.
some people now that's like defending it, which that shocked me. And you
Mm-hmm.
look at the Stalker 2 comments, like under that tweet, there's people like defending it, like, oh, you shouldn't have bent the knee, to these people. You should have stuck to your guns. Like talking to the Stalker 2, saying that they should have kept the NFT like in there. And I'm I'm just like amazed by that, man. Like people, yeah,
No,
it's wild, man.
that already shows you just if they have that support now, this is gonna become a thing,
Oh,
and it's gonna
without a
become
doubt.
a norm. At some point, we're gonna look back and be like, damn. Remember when we did that episode of DualShock and Sense where we predicted this or we talked about this, and look at just how bad it's gotten. And I don't know if it'll there's going to be a period where it's definitely going to hurt a lot of companies, or in terms of whether that be public eye or just the way that they are seen. But we're going to reach that nice happy medium, quote unquote happy, where it's gonna be a thing. I'm not excited. I'm not looking forward to it. What I am looking forward is to seeing all the caps in those comments, because let me tell you, like you mentioned, that Stalker 2 comment section, if I had a cap for every comment, bro, I'd have a whole house full of free caps. It is insane.
No, man.
No.
But yeah, man. If this is the way that the industry is going, man, then
No.
yeah, that's sad.
There's some abandoned energy. Got that abandoned energy.
Oh man.
That just utter backlash, man. When the internet bites, it bites.
Bro, what happened to abandoned?
It was abandoned. It got tossed to the side. People are, at this point, people are just don't. I feel like it's in a worse spot where people just don't care. It's not so much the dang, like y'all did us wrong. No, it's more so like where even it is abandoned. What even happened?
I can tell you. Yeah, I can tell you. I don't care. So
Exactly.
I don't care anymore. I was invested at a certain point in time, but now, like, yeah,
The Easter egg hunt. A little.
Yeah, man.
A little. They did.
Yeah,
that was cool.
It was fun.
Cool
for a
few
little
weeks.
bit. It was fun for a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
That was the most fun I had this year.
This year, more fun than any video game.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So that's gonna do it for Stalker 2, man. I wanna kind of ask you, like, have you ever had with a game that you were personally excited about? Have you ever had an instance like this where you were like so like through the roof, like excited for a game to come out, and then before the actual release, the developers do something, or you learn something about the game that just immediately kills your hype for it? Because yeah,
Yes.
I can't remember. I would have to really think about it, but I can't remember another title that I was like this excited or anticipating, and something comes out about it, and I'm like, man, I want nothing to do with this game now.
Maybe not to that extreme, but and I've mentioned it in the pod, and now I'm easing more into giving it another chance because at that point I got so annoyed. It's at this point it's such a meme because yes, everyone knows just how much flack it got and how bad it did and critically and whatnot. But last year this happened, and this is like legit. I'm not memeing it. This is legitimate. For years and years, I was incredibly excited for Cyberpunk, and
Yeah, that's a good example.
and the moment I started hearing, oh, they're not letting us show footage. Oh, we're only getting PC copies. We're not getting the console versions.
Yeah.
Granted, I was gonna play it on PC, but as someone that was already deep into, I was started writing for Level 1 Gaming. I was more into the whole video game industry, like learning about it and learning more about the inner workings. So like I already was like in this mindset of critically analyzing things. As soon as I heard that, for someone that doesn't play video games or is like very casual, they hear that and they're like, oh, maybe like they would justify it in some bizarre way, maybe, or they would seem some shady, but not too much. But for me, it was very much a case of all these delays, the talks of crunch, the no console codes to review,
The yellow chairs being sent out
the
as well.
yellow chairs, the yellow car, like, dude, the yellow bro. That year, granted, I don't blame anyone that was, hyping this game up. I bet some of them, not all of them, but they had the best of intentions and they're legitimately excited. And they, very much similar to me, got disappointed to some extent. Some were more lenient than others. Some actually gave it a shot and enjoyed it. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it, but to your question, to where the hype dropped, oh, it hit the ground hard.
Yeah.
Because, and it was marketed as revolutionary. The like RPG, like Cyberpunk, straight out of the tabletop game. And I was recently getting into D&D, so in my mind I'm like, oh my god, like this game is gonna blow my mind. but
Yeah.
it just turned out to be a first-person game
Action,
with
action.
action
Yeah.
first-person game where it had some RPG elements and the world, while beautiful and beautifully designed, the substance was not completely there. It was overly cluttered. The map was just terrible to navigate. There was so many things that together it felt like an unfinished project with a lot of ambition, but with very poor leader management. And I don't know, man. It really left a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm waiting for the next gen upgrade. I'm waiting for those updates. I'm waiting for that one update that will tell me, okay, now I can restart this game. Because I played the game. I enjoyed when I could play the game, I enjoyed it. But I had so many instances where it would crash. I had it crash 10 times in 20 minutes once. It and it
Oh
would
man.
crash on the
God bless.
exact same spot. Oh, dude, my patience, because I was so excited. It was so excited. I was so excited, and I tried to give it a chance. I love the characters. I loved the world, but as a game, I had, granted, I had recently played Last of Us. I had recently played so many different games that I was just, they were such like they were well constructed. They were finished. They felt like proper finished titles. And I played Cyberpunk, and I played it 2 nights. In those 2 nights, it crashed around 20 times. And I had bugs where the lines would repeat around each other. I had bugs where there was this one quest where it was my favorite quest at that moment. I would get to a point where an NPC would say some dialogue, and they would shut up, and I would try to run around like, okay, is there another dialogue? It would just mean that it was bugged, and it wouldn't continue until I restarted. I did that process like 5 times, and then I could get through the mission. But by the time that I finished the mission, it crashed.
Yeah.
So I was at that point. I was like, I'm over this. Honestly, I tried. I really tried to give it a chance, but until they fix this, and even now, it's still some buggy. It's still a bit buggy. I hear people that they still have a hard time playing it.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a really good example, for sure. Like, yeah, that'd probably be mine as well. But just to be different, I'll say like one that kind of comes to mind is oh man, I was gonna say yeah, I'll go with Sly 4, Sly Thieves in Time.
oh wow,
Yeah, I was, new Sly game. We hadn't had one in a really, really long time. And then this one was revealed, and then like I don't know, I started seeing like the cutscenes. I started seeing how the characters were talking to each other, and it just like didn't have the same sort of like I don't know, the same sort of like energy that like you could tell like like this game was being made by different developers entirely because like the characters
mm,
and like how they were interacting with each other, how they were talking to each other, it's just like they were like different people. Like they weren't consistent with the characters that they were in in the past trilogy. So like Sly was kind of like a douchebag in this game. Murray was just like, the typical oh, he's fat, so his entire personality revolves around him wanting to eat, right? So it was like things like
right.
that we started seeing like the pre release sort of like marketing for that game where I was just like, "Oh, well, oh, okay." So so yeah, that
Disappointed.
yeah, the gameplay
Yeah,
was cool, but yeah, that's definitely one that I remember
yeah.
like my hype for it just kind of like dwindling with
Diminishing.
everything that I
Mm.
was seeing. Um, yeah, man. So yeah, that's
It's like
I
that
w
infamous kind of thing where it went from Cole to Delson, and I was like, bro, I love Infamous 2. I was right off that train, and it had been so long since an Infamous title and Infamous Second Son is announced, and I'm playing it, and I'm like, oh, uh, mm,
yeah,
gameplay is great, the world's great, the powers are great, but the character, I just didn't vibe with him the same way that I did with Cole.
yeah,
Um, Same way, like I would very much prefer a fetch main game than with Delson, personally.
yeah. That's fair.
Uh, But dude, and with Cyberpunk, another thing that was so sad is the fact that the trailers, the gameplay that we got teased was so different from the end product. So you were purposefully misled in that sense, to where the gameplay that they showed was, it felt a bit revolutionary or a bit like overly refined to the point where like, whoa, this is gonna be legit. This is gonna be like a great game to dive into, and then it turned out to be a bit more janky and not as inspired as it seemed to be. Um,
Yeah.
Dude, with Sly, it's interesting because you mentioned that in the past how Sly 4 just like the series didn't leave off on a good note, essentially, with
Yeah,
with
with
Thieves in Time.
with that game, yeah. Um, but yeah, I'm curious. Like, I would love to ask just like people in general, like what's an instance of like this happening to them, because that would be really, because I feel like, yeah, the answer would be different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's Stalker 2. Very very disappointed by that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I wonder what the I feel like EA is gonna come around. Um, they're gonna do something like this is what EA is gonna do for the next FIFA. They're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna have an MVT where NFT where you can auction to a certain amount of money to play the referee in FIFA. That's what it's gonna be, man.
I thought you were gonna say like you can pay to where you can be an audience member and you can see yourself
Oh,
if
even
you go into
better,
photo mode.
even better.
And you have to really zoom in to see your ugly ass in there.
Yeah, even better,
Oh
man.
man, dude.
Um, but yeah, man, I think that's pretty much going to do it for the podcast. I don't
Yeah,
think
it's been a
anything
light
else.
week.
Yeah, I don't think really anything else happened uh this week. So yeah, we can
You know,
probably
I
end it
mean,
there.
I very much, in terms of, the state of PlayStation this year, because I know this is our last podcast. I really would want all three of us to be able to chime in on this. Uh, and maybe on the first episode of next year, we can kind of recap how 2021 was and what we expect of 2022 to be and whatnot. We can start off the year that way. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
definitely.
one la one last thing that I believe this week. I don't know if it's super recent, but real quick, I know that it's like one of the games that I've seen advertised the most uh, constantly. Let me tell you, like every few tweets, I see that game being advertised, and it's Forspoken. I know that the gameplay for that, it was more like delved into this week, and people talking about it. Just a real like quick glossing over it. How do you feel about like this game now with like the recent gameplay and just in general?
I didn't watch the the new gameplay that came out, because I've been I don't know, since its inception I've been pretty lukewarm about this game. Um,
Mm,
so yeah, I don't think I really have anything to really say. I mean, the traversal seems pretty cool. Um, the I think it's one of those instances of like the lead character talking way too much. There's
yeah.
that, but then again, like the art style looks really really cool. The character that what's her name? Janina Ivankar or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I probably butchered her name. I don't think that's her name at all. But yeah, she's playing like some kind of like queen or something, and her design is really cool. I think she had like a fire sword. So yeah, I'm hyped about fire swords. But
That fire sword though.
yeah, yeah, but no, man. So like, there's some things about the game that looks cool, but I don't know. Just in general, I've been pretty lukewarm about it since it's been revealed. So,
Mm.
um,
Janina Gavankar. Yeah,
there
you
we
got it.
go, there we go. No, no, no. I did not. I said her last name was like Ivankar or some shit like that.
Ivankar. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, like she was
Gavankar.
Russian, like
Yeah.
she was Russian or something. Um, But yeah, man. So yeah, I didn't see the new gameplay that was released, but I know a lot of people were kind of down on it. Do you know why?
It okay. So the gameplay itself, it seems it's like the traversal kind of where there's enough going on and enough like it's flashy, but the purpose is there for the flashiness, if that makes sense. Very much so, like in Tales of Arise, there's so much particles and so much going on screen, but there's like actual moves being done and actual uh like abilities and combos. In this case, I'm at least for me, what's so interesting is the way that the moves are manifested in the gameplay and how beautiful it looks. I think it looks very pretty and very satisfying when being performed. There's like a rock gun that you manifest. It's not like a literal gun, but it's like you have it's like a magic spell that you like raise your hand and like rocks start to flow and you like throw them like you're earth bending. It very much gives me that like element bending kind of vibe. Uh, it looks fun as heck, and it looks very high octane like action during the fight scenes. Granted, the enemies don't seem that aggressive in the gameplay trailer at least. I don't know if that's on purpose or if they're just like a high level version of that character and they're just killing like crazy. Um, I know people are what I've seen, from the social medias. People very much just seem interested in what the final product is because right now I see how the gameplay can be praised the way it's been, but the story, I don't know what the story really is.
Oh,
It
she's like teleported or like it's like a isekai. She's like teleported
Right,
into like another like a fantasy world or
like
something like
another
that.
world.
Yeah.
Right, but like it very much it doesn't feel serious. You know? It feels like, oh, I'm yeah, like literally like an isekai and that goofy like approach where it's like, oh, I'm in another world. I guess I'm super powerful now, you know? Like I don't see I don't know what the stakes are. The dialogue is at times a bit cheesy, a bit it's a bit much at times. It feels like it's someone that thinks like saw like a movie, like a very like great dialogue in a movie, and they're like, I can replicate that, and they tried, and it just came out like super wrong. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's someone that speaks English that did the
Oh
dialogue.
man.
Like it's like in Squid Game when you hear the VIPs talk. It's like, yeah, yeah, this was not made here. It, and that's to no discredit to to the creators. Very much, I get it that that's how we sound like to them.
Yeah, we
It's
sound like
like
idiots.
we sound like idiots. Very arrogant, very pompous and whatnot. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. It's a PS5 / PC exclusive, right? I think it's going on PC. And I don't know, man. I'm interested in the final product. It's not a day one purchase for me, but I'm definitely interested to see what they do with what the end product is going to look like when it goes gold. Like, what's that final trailer going to look like if they release one? Um, if I'm excited for something, it's not the story, but more so the combat and see how it all evolves. Because there seems to be a lot of versatility in the move sets and the types of there's like water, earth moves. Very much like Avatar world kind of vibes with those moves.
No, see,
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm more excited for Sifu, man. More excited for
Oh,
that.
bro, Sifu that flew under the radar for me for the last year, but lately I saw what was it? I think it was Alana Pierce. I saw her like first impressions of it and her gameplay, and I was blown away. I don't know why it flew under my radar. I I knew about it and I was like, oh yeah, it's a game where you grow old. Like in my mind, that was Sifu for me. It was like, yeah, you fight and you become an old person. Like, yeah, you. But I saw it, I read about it, saw some interviews, and I'm kind of looking forward to it more than I am with, yeah, like similar to you. I'm looking forward more to that one than Forspoken. It's interesting. Lately, I've been more interested in smaller games that I have in the more AAA titles. Rather,
I mean, hell, man.
Horizon.
Yeah, the last two games I've been playing has been Solar Ash and Pray for the Gods. So
Heck yeah,
yeah, man,
man.
I'm enjoying these indie games for sure. I feel like I've been
Pray of
playing
the
a lot
Gods.
more than ever before.
Yeah,
Um,
man. I want to try that one, Pray of the Gods. I
Yeah.
might get that one soon.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it for the podcast. For real this time. um, yeah, man. So yeah, like we said, this is the last podcast of 2021. We will come back January 8th, and that'll be the podcast that we talk about our game of the years, things of that nature. We're undecided in terms of like how deep we want to go with that. Like, are we gonna have like, I don't know, best best haircut in 2021? You know, like obscure weird title awards like that. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll make a list.
Yeah,
We'll make a list.
we may do something like that. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, man,
Absolutely.
that's gonna do it for this podcast. Walt, you got anything going on this week?
I got some more video gaming, more FF14 when I can actually log in. I'll be playing, probably get through Solar Ash. I'm aiming for that platinum probably. Platinum doesn't sound easy. Got to do that hardcore mode and a speed run. Finish the game under 3 hours. That's gonna be tough. Um, I'm excited for that. Family. Gonna spend time with family in the next weeks. Work a bit, get that bag, and do my thing. Do more video games. I got a bunch of new video games recently. I mentioned I had Mass Effect. That one I still have because I want to dedicate. Like, if I'm gonna play something, if I'm gonna play Mass Effect, I want that to be the only game that I play for a while.
Man,
So,
that's a good like Christmas binge, man.
yes,
Sounds
sir.
like a good
Yes,
Christmas
sir.
binge.
And I finished my semester, so on my days off and before work, I'm about to grind away with that beauty.
Man,
Um,
lucky.
I'm Yeah, yeah, man. I heard y'all praise it so much in the podcast. I'm excited for it. Oh man, I just want to thank anyone listening, whether that be here on YouTube or on Spotify or wherever you can find our podcast. I really want to appreciate and express the my thanks for you know being here and listening to us, whether that be rambling or talking about the news and just giving our thoughts on the latest, whether that be video games or entertainment. Really grateful that this year we decided to kick this off, and we've been growing slowly and gathering a nice little audience, and really appreciative of that. I didn't think, like, honestly, beginning of this year, I didn't think this would be where we're at the end of the year. Having 62 beautiful subscribers, 63 rather, and growing. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sticking around. Uh, we'll be bringing in more next year, in January, our first episode of 2022. And just be on the lookout for whether that be Souls reactions or any commentary or Macho and I streaming. We'll see when we'll hop on. Be on the lookout. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Drop a like. But yeah, man, appreciate it a lot. Y'all are amazing. And yeah, this week just more video games and doing my thing. What about you, Sol?
Um, yeah, man. Not much on my side. I actually have no idea what I'm gonna be playing. This actually might be like a pretty light Christmas in terms of like backlog. I don't have anything really that I mean maybe like I've been meaning to get to RE7, so like maybe that'll be a game that I can check out over Christmas
Sir.
break.
Yes, sir. So
But
you can
yeah,
get to
man.
that village.
We'll see. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. Other than that, yeah, I really don't know what I'm gonna be playing over Christmas break. Um, yeah, because I imagine like Solar Ash, I'll probably finish within the next day or so, and then Pray for the Gods doesn't seem too long either. So we'll see what happens with that. Um, but yeah, we'll figure it out. Maybe maybe it may be possible that I don't end up playing anything over Christmas break. So that's a
Just a light
possibility as
Christmas.
well. What?
A light Christmas.
Oh, I thought you said a white
Well,
Christmas.
what? Nah, man. Wild. Wild.
I was like, man, I knew the energy of this podcast was different, but goddamn.
Nah,
um,
pause. Pause. Hey, yo. Joe
but
can wait. Joe can wait.
oh man, come on, man.
Yeah.
I plead the fifth, man. I plead the fifth. I already said what I needed to say, man. I already said what I needed to say. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it for the podcast. Once again, I reiterate what these idiots already said, what these dummies already said. That yeah, we really appreciate the support, and we look forward to an even better 2022. I mean, next year is definitely gonna be better with Horizon, God of War, GT7, Sifu,
Sir.
Stray. Forspoken, even though I'm not personally excited for that. And then whatever, those are just the games that we know of right now. So yeah, very
Sir, possibly P6. Come on, announcement,
Persona
come on.
6 is not coming out next
Go.
year.
Not coming up, but come on, give me that teaser.
Hey, maybe. But yeah, man. Again, thank you for the support, and we look forward to an even better 2022. So yeah, man, we'll catch you guys then. Peace out.